Shiba Inu just stunned everyone. One has discovered a great breakthrough. No, it's not limited to burns either. Everything might be changed with this. Perhaps the 1 cent pricing is no more a fantasy now. The awakening of the entire community, whales are on migration. Shibarium is blooming, and the fact is, it may be much easier than we had assumed. You won't find this believable. Still, what exactly inspires this? Now, let me clarify. Welcome to Dr. Crypto, your daily serving of Shiba. This is the spot for you if you're curious about anything related to Shiba. If you want to keep informed about all the latest news forecasts and stay ahead of the crypto industry, subscribe. To get more Shib news, be sure to click the like button. The Shiba Inu universe today has seen a major revolution. People have long held the belief that forceful token burning were the only actual means Shiba Inu could ever reach 1 penny. And it makes absolutely perfect sense. In the community, burning coins has always been this huge, fascinating event. Each time there was a burn, the price seemed to slink just a bit toward that ideal figure. The Shiba Inu army has been absolutely laser-focused on burns from the early days. It turned to become the primary tactic, the primary focus, the primary theme. Burn more, maybe we would make it. That concept became about the only thing people paid attention to because it stuck so strongly. Alternative opportunities, alternative systems, they were little discussed. Like everything else, it seemed to be background noise. Still, this is the important thing. It turns out that style of thought might have been utterly off target. Something quite surprising has now surfaced. Something else was silently in the background while everyone focused on the burns. And this fresh finding could really be the secret to 1 penny. Furthermore, shockingly, is the fact that it is not the burns we all assumed. Not too long ago, something really big surfaced. Shiba Inu shot 228% in whale action. Yes, big movements began out of nowhere. Whales are accumulating and moving vast numbers of Shiba Inu, and the whole community lighted up as soon as this broke through the media. Everyone began posing the same question. Is anything forthcoming? And really, they may be correct. This type of unexpected increase in activity might indicate the arrival of something major, something we all have been lacking while we were too preoccupied with price declines and burning. Mostly this is due to a new discovery of the significant progress towards the 1 cent objective in Shiba Inu ecology, and we will shortly reach that major revelation. Before we can discuss the major unveiling today, however, we must first grasp something extremely crucial to get the whole picture. Like many other cryptocurrencies, Shiba Inu hasn't been truly executing the way people anticipated, despite all the buzz and advancement in the crypto sector. Most Shiba Inu owners believe the price would be much greater by now, given the current state of affairs in the market, particularly with regard to the positive trend. Rather, however, it is just not progressing as we had intended. And really, that's annoying. We seem to have been waiting endlessly, and nothing is changing. The fact that politically things have begun to look good for cryptocurrencies overall adds even more perplexity. Under Donald Trump's direction, the US government has been really supporting cryptocurrencies. People have been demanding for ages. They are working on introducing fair and unambiguous rules to the environment. One significant action was the formal declaration by the SEC that meme currencies such as Shiba Inu are not securities. At the time, it was enormous news. Many people thought, all right, this is it. Shiba Inus are about to soar. But it did not transpire. Shiba Inu hasn't produced even with that encouraging legislative change. And right now, it's down at 10% just from last week. And looking back to December 8th, the high, it has dropped by about 60%. That's bad. Indeed, it's irritating. It's aggravating. Shiba Inu is still trailing behind everything around, including community support, burning regulatory wins. And now, right now, it is real. Still, all of that is going to evolve. Today is not just about the 1 penny associated with Shiba Inu, one significant news item. Something even more is in progress. The whole attitude around Shiba Inu is beginning to change. It feels like a wave gathering strength, and this time it's different. See, one may easily get mired in the negativity. Frustration consumes one when prices either remain stagnant or decline. We concentrate on the non-working aspects. We begin to believe that, despite everything, nothing positive is occurring. And that perspective might be the incorrect one to see Shiba Inu from. Since something very genuine and very great has been silently growing in the background, while everyone was concentrating on what wasn't going well. Apart from the current great whale surge, Shiba Inu's personal blockchain, Shibarium, recently saw a 54% increase in transactions. That is not random. That is a really significant increase. People are beginning to move once again. Rather obviously, activity is building up and Shiba Inu is getting a lot of attention once again. And here it becomes fascinating. Certain Shiba Inu fans are still clinging to optimism even with the latest price drop. Still certain that Shiba Inu may one day soar all the way to that 1 cent figure. Both numbers of people and critics abound. Supporters, let us go over all of them. Allow me also to offer you an advice. Today, the supporters recently had a significant discovery that greatly supports their hypothesis. Starting with the critics, let me put it into perspective. Shiba Inu would have to climb an amazing 75,000% to attain that cost from where it is currently. That is really significant. And given the present supply of 589 trillion coins, the market capitalization would have to be roughly $5.89 trillion. Lucy, Shiba Inu's marketing chief, has come out stating she thinks 1 cent is still within goal, but not everyone agrees. Many detractors claim that unless Shiba Inu has significant forceful burns that drastically reduces the supply, that objective is just flat out unachievable. Here, however, things start to become interesting. Some are beginning to propose a rather different alternative that does not depend only on burns. If Shiba Inu continues tightly tied to Bitcoin, they think it might reach 1 cent and drives the wave should the value of Bitcoin soar dramatically. And according on Into the Block statistics, Shiba Inu has recently been shown a really significant affinity to Bitcoin. The correlation over the last 30 days is 92%. That is really high. And yet we have been lacking this key. This revelation alters everything. We have been limited in our thinking for the longest time that burns were the only choice. These days, however, we are witnessing something different. Something in action already. Should Bitcoin soar, and Shiba Inu keeps leading this closely, the road to 1 cent may not be as difficult as we had assumed. All of this, simply but powerfully, signifies. Should the price of Bitcoin surge, Shiba Inu's worth might also explode. And here's the truly fascinating bit. Over large runs, Shiba Inu has a record of surpassing Bitcoin. Therefore, even a little upward movement from Bitcoin might cause Shiba Inu to spike greatly. That may be the opening that drives Shiba Inu toward the much-needed 1 penny goal. Of course, a lot would now be needed to align for it to occur. Based on Shiba Inu's present supply, its market capital value would be around $5.89 trillion if it ever did achieve 1 cent. That does not imply, however, that Bitcoin has to lag behind actually. Bitcoin just needs a market capitalization more than $5.89 trillion if it is to remain the leading cryptocurrency asset. To put it another way, should Bitcoin reach the $5.89 trillion mark, every Bitcoin would be valued around $296,000. And should it double that value, reaching an astounding 11 trillion market capitalization, Bitcoin would be selling at around $593,000 per coin. From the price today, that is a 516% rise. All of this sounds great right now. Yes, we have to be genuine, however. Crypto does not come with assurances. Even if Bitcoin rises, Shiba Inu won't necessarily reach 1 cent. But this is what distinguishes the Shiba Inu community, and explains why the narrative isn't ending. They have heard it all before, they are not interested in the doubt. The Shiba Inu army continues turning up, keeps growing, and keeps believing. Their drive comes from being a member of something greater than from charts alone. They think in decentralization, in community-driven strength, and in proving others wrong. Their virtually unbreakability comes from that fire, that willfulness, that drive. The Shiba Inu people never gives up to reach heights no one would have imagined possible, regardless of the chances or the volume of the criticism received. On this, however, what do you think? Comment down below. The day is over now. Remember to give it a big thumbs up. To see our most recent material, share it, and subscribe to the channel.